So we started our small group a couple years ago, but Tracy and I were building our home, and in that whole process, God just kept showing us that it was going to be a place of refuge and a gathering place where we could just come and break bread and talk about God.
We started a small group because, honestly, because there was a need for small groups. We were in a small group and in a community that we loved for years, and we saw that others needed that same community in their lives. So we prayed about it, and the Lord led us to start our own group.
We started a small group about 12 years ago. We've been married for a year. We were looking for community of people around our age. And we had just moved into a new house, had a space to start a small group. And so we wanted to invite other people to join us in a small group to develop that community.
We started a small group really because we knew that there was a need for small group leaders. We honestly had no intention of leaving our small group because we loved our small group experience. We had made such great friends and had grown so much spiritually at our small group that we really didn't want to leave ours, but wanted to offer the same experience that we had had to other people who were looking for a small group.
We really love our small group just for the family aspect of it. Personally, I don't come from a lot of family. I have my dad and Colby's family, but other than that, that's it. And small group has really stepped up to fill that role for me, and I know I can count on those girls for anything. They've walked through the highs and the lows with me. They've walked me through miscarriage and just different things like our daughter's birth and our son's birth, and they just have filled that role, and I know I can count on them for anything. And not only that, but just the openness of conversation too. There's always grace, there's always mercy. We've had talks about things like mental health, marriages, kids, you name it, we can talk about it, and it's just really freeing to be able to do that and just count on people.
What I love my small group is we have spent 10 years together, and we've been through just about every crisis that a small group can go through during that period of time, including but not limited to 3 deaths in the last 4 years. And we always seem to emerge from those crises being stronger, drawn closer together, and just being really tight with each other. And that is the reason, that is the way in which I love my small group.
I love our small group because it has become our family, our local family here. In just a short amount of time, we've gotten to know each other really well, and we pray for each other, and we just try to do life together, and it's been really, really sweet.
We love our small group because it's a chance to build a community that's smaller than the church itself. You know, our church, as big as ours, it's easy to come in and not feel connected. But the small group really gives us an opportunity to break down into a smaller group of people where we can invest in them, where we can invest in their kids, where we can really do life alongside them, where we know exactly what's going on in their lives. So we can pray specifically for them and serve them in a more specific way because we know them at a deeper level.
Why do I love my small group? I love them because they become family. Actually, in a lot of ways, I'm closer to them than I am my biological family because we spend a lot of time together. And not just on Sunday morning, but we fellowship during the week. We've been able to do some physical things for people within our group that they needed done. It's just been a total blessing, and we're just super close. And we're in a safe place where we know we can share and our needs, and that they're going to pray for me and I'm going to pray for them.
We've seen just each other grow as leaders, having to be accountable and facilitate this group. It's been really just amazing to see that. And not only that, but we have a couple in our group as well that didn't even go to Silverdale. We just felt the Lord calling us to them, and so we invited them to our group, and little did we know they were actually looking for a church, and they were just having some issues, not growing spiritually. So we invited them to our small group, and now they're regular members at North Ottawa, and they're growing. We see all the growth that they've been able to have since joining our group and joining the church as well.
Well, our small group is actually very new. We started this past August, so not even a year. Initially, we didn't know who would walk through the door. So actually, we had several neighbors that literally walked from their home to our door, and we didn't know anyone when they came in. And initially, we only had about 4 of us total, 4 adults, and we weren't really sure. It was a little awkward at first, but we got to know each other in a really cool way. And then suddenly it just exploded. It was as if we got a few weeks in where we just got to have a little bit of a trial, and then suddenly people just started coming from everywhere. And it has been really cool to see that. And the Lord is growing us as a community, and we've all been able to bond really well. It's been really neat.
How has God been working in our small group? Well, He's led us to get outside our comfort zone. We've done some outside activities. For example, during River Bend, we went down during River Bend and handed out bottles of water to talk about the living water, Jesus Christ. We give meals to YCAP 2 or 3 times a month. And then within our group, we look for physical things that we can do to minister to one another by meeting their needs and helping them provide things that maybe they couldn't do on their own.
God's been really working in our current small group, the current group we have, through, even saving people. Like I think about over the past year, we had a person in our small group that had been coming for a couple years that was saved. And I think about the time that we spend in the Word, and us just talking about what we're reading, what we're learning, and it came to a point of like, I don't understand this, and I'm asking questions, and we're praying for this person, and then she comes to faith. So that's one example. Another is just we're all raising kids, and I think to see victories in even parenting, in some cases just practical things, but to see kids come to faith in our small group too has been just encouraging. So we're seeing God work in the midst of where we are in life. And so it's been cool to see how us just being part of that community, us being available to those people to see God work through, everyday kind of situations in our members.